Hi everybody, and welcome to my next resource video on what is late talking. My name is Marcy Melzer, and I am an intuitive speech-language pathologist, and I help parents teach their late talking children to use the words they need to share their wisdom with the world. And today, I'm going to tell you about what is late talking. So we're going to start today by talking about some typical language development milestones, so you can understand what kids are expected to do. So by 18 months, children should start to use a handful of single words like mama, dog, and go. Early, when children are developing language, the words may come and go. So they can learn words and then not use them and then pick them up later. By 24 months, children are expected to say about 50 words consistently. They should be starting to use two-word combinations, and their words, they could use things like my cookie and I love you and go bye-bye, things like that. By 36 months, children are expected to say more than 200 words, and their phrases should be 4 to 5 words long, and their speech should be able to be understood by everybody about 80% of the time. And that's at 36 months or 3 years old. If your child is older than that and doesn't have those 36-month milestones, then they probably are showing atypical language development or a language delay. Now here are the top communication struggles of children with language delay. They are often not able to ask for the things that they want. They scream a lot. They use jargon or babble that sounds like talking. They could only be using a single word like ma or da, or using that same sound repeatedly like da 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 da. They could be using pointing or pantomime gestures instead of words. They could be refusing to communicate with anyone they're not familiar with. They could be not asking for help or not wanting to ask for help and doing everything very independently. They could be learning new words occasionally and then dropping them and not saying them again. And most children with these kinds of characteristics score very poorly on language development testing tools given by speech pathologists. So those are the top communication struggles for children with language delay. Some other characteristics of late talkers or children with language delay are behavior issues. So many children who aren't communicating have behaviors such as screaming, toe walking, flapping, lining up toys. They might be aggressive, or they might want to lay on the floor a lot and have tantrums. Late talking kids also very commonly have sensory issues. They show avoidances and preferences for things that show sensory seeking or sensory avoidance behavior. Late talkers also very often have social issues. They could be very highly attached to a parent. They could avoid social interaction with adults and children, especially ones they don't know. They could want to escape every structured learning opportunity you try to present to them. They could also not tolerate crowded or noisy spaces, or they could also have really poor eye contact with people they're not familiar with, but have really good eye contact with parents and siblings. So those are some other characteristics of late talking children besides the late talking. Here are some common diagnoses given to children with late talking as the primary indicator. So late talkers often get diagnoses such as expressive and or receptive language delay or disorder, speech delay or articulation disorder, phonological disorder if they're older than 3, autism spectrum disorder, childhood apraxia of speech or suspected childhood apraxia of speech, global developmental delay, or ADHD for the real high-spirited ones. Those are common diagnoses given to children with late talking as the primary indicator. Now, 40% of the children that I just described, their delay is caused by neurological issues. And you can identify if it is a neurological issue that's causing your child's delay if you notice any of these warning signs. So, the warning signs are going to be, number one, that the child rarely interacts with you. We're talking less than 20%. If the child has daily episodes where they check out or stare into space and you can't bring them back right away. An otherwise healthy child is physically inconsolable more than twice a day for a consistent period of time. A child can also demonstrate neurological or brain problems even if they have multiple fine and gross motor issues that affect their daily activities. A child can have neurological issues if they are rarely interested in age-appropriate toys or books, and that they are unable to learn basic tasks like bring this here, go put this in the trash. We're talking kids over 2 years old. So those are the warning signs for late talkers who are probably in this 40% of children whose late talking is caused by neurological issues. Now, the good news is that 60% of the children that I described as late language emergence, language delayed, or late talking are actually late talkers that I talk about being able to help their parents teach them to use words quickly. So the 60% of children who are late talkers, these are the things that are great about them. First of all, late talking children usually catch up with their peers by second or third grade. Many late talking children start talking eventually without any professional intervention at all. Many children who caught up with their peers were previously diagnosed with things like autism spectrum disorder, global developmental delay, and even cognitive delay, as well as autism spectrum disorder. And late talking children may have a negative reaction to the specific structured intervention routines that are commonly used for children with autism spectrum disorder and cognitive impairment. So you should also know that late talking children have the same chance of graduating high school and college as their talkative toddler peers. So there's really good news if your child is in the 60% of kids with late language emergence or language delay. Are probably late talkers. Now, here's the way for sure that you can spot if your late talker or your language delayed child is a late talker and not demonstrating a neurocognitive or a neurological impairment. So these are the things about what makes late talkers special. How to identify if your child is for sure in that top 60%. So what you look for is late talkers have amazing problem-solving skills. Children with cognitive issues can't solve problems like late talkers. Late talkers are great at getting exactly what they want without using language at all. Late talkers can figure out locks, solve problems, break into things, and pretty much overcome any obstacle to get what they want. Late talkers are also often experts with technology. Another characteristic that makes late talkers special is that they love to learn new things, but they only do it on their own terms. Late talkers definitely know what they like to do and what they don't like to do. They can stay with a preferred activity for a long time and get really good at it too. Late talkers actually have very little regard for new ideas unless you can prove to them that it's fun and fits in their mode of learning. Another issue about late talking children that makes them special is that they're often very high-spirited and controlling. Late talkers are strong-willed, and they will seemingly stop at nothing to get what they desire. Alternatively, late talkers are expert at avoiding or escaping any kind of task or situation that they don't like or they don't want to be part of. Late talkers have the ability to manipulate their environment to get whatever they want with the minimum amount of effort. So if your late talker is doing some negotiating with you, even non-verbally, you can tell that they are definitely in that top 60%, and they are a special late talking child. So now you know what it is that differentiates a late talker from a child who is language delayed as a result of a neurological issue. And the great news about that is that parents can help late talkers catch up faster than therapists even. And if you want to find out how, you can go to my website, wavesofcommunication.com, and learn more about my Waves of Communication parent coaching program. On the website, there's other articles and there's videos too that talk about late talking and how you can become a language facilitator and help your late talker learn to use words quickly and naturally. So check out my website, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.